Well, we're going to introduce a fantastic couple today. Today's guests are not only longtime supporters of Westlake Academy, but also a husband and wife team whose generosity and volunteer spirit have helped shape our school community in remarkable ways. From giving their time to giving their resources, they've been true partners in powering the Westlake advantage. You know, Joe, Camille, Westlake Academy has grown from fewer than 200 students at its founding to more than 900 today, all while maintaining its unique IB culture. Now, as a couple who's given both your time and your resources to support that journey, could you start by introducing yourself and sharing what first made you want to be a part of this mission together?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Well, we moved here about 4 years ago.
4 years ago, yeah.
From California. So really, we were just kind of looking for a new opportunity to raise our children. And obviously, our number one motivation was finding a great school.
Did you come from a public school?
Actually, we came from a Montessori,
Okay.
a private Montessori school. The kids were quite young at that point. And then, as we all know, COVID hit. So they weren't in school when we decided to move. So in our search, Joe actually had an opportunity to move out here for work. And so we were checking out several areas and, Highland Park being one of them, Westlake, Southlake, Keller. And it really came down to the school. And so that was pivotal. Everything was dependent on the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you're going to move your kids halfway across the country, you want to bring them to a school that you feel good about, obviously academically, but also just that it's going to be a place that they're going to be able to fit in and they're going to be welcomed and they're going to be safe. So I think that was a big part of it. And we kind of liked the size of the school and the IB concept. I think once we found the school, that kind of locked us down as far as where we were going to live. It was going to be Westlake.
And additionally, if I can add, Westlake also seemed like a community. Again, leaving California, we left our family and our friends. They left their friends and family. We needed to find a new family. And so we could see ourselves developing that here very quickly, actually.
Sounds like education was extremely important.
Yes.
Community was also extremely important.
Yeah.
Was there a third item on the list? Did you have to commute to work or?
Well, yeah, I do. I mean, I drive to Dallas.
So that was way down the list.
Yeah, that was way down the list.
Okay.
But, well, if you live in California.
I still upgraded my commute. 30 miles to Dallas is better than 10 miles in LA. So yeah, it's been better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, think back to that decision point and all the boxes that you were striving were all checked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think above and beyond.
Yeah. I mean, again, the homes, the land, the community, the school, the proximity to the cities. I mean, this is a great town. Yeah. Without being in a big city, you're still close enough that you don't feel like you're, in suburbia, middle of nowhere type of thing. So it was kind of the perfect compromise for us. But it's still a big leap. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. So keep in mind, when we settled on our first house here, we still didn't know if we were 100% sold.
Well, think about that and think about your kids. Think about that moment when you knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so interesting. You go to that school and it sits up on the hill and it's just like this school on the hill and it just seems so welcoming and safe. We actually had Shelley give us a tour when we first arrived at the school, and she was great and showed us everything that we needed to see. And, we saw the wall of the schools, the colleges that all these kids have been accepted into. And we saw the, kind of the IB principles and learner profiles in the multipurpose room. And I just kind of, for me, it started to click that It's going to be a safe place for the kids. They're going to get a great education. And the values aspect of it. I like the values at the school. I like the kind of individuals they're being taught to become. Obviously, as a parent, it's mainly your job to teach those values and, bring your kids up the way you want them to be raised. But it really helps when you know that every day when they go to school, they're going somewhere where you believe in the values and you're happy with the people that they're learning from.
Reinforces the values that you're teaching at home.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember we toured the school in the summer before they started. So you can imagine it was a very quick, hasty decision. I mean, this happened very quickly. We decided in 4 months that we were shifting our life several thousand miles. And we were able to tour other ISDs and private schools. And they weren't actually offering any tours at Westlake, but I was able to get a hold of the school, and the person that responded to me was Shelley Myers. And she met us at the school in the middle of summer, middle of the day. And she talked to our kids, walked us through the whole campus, asked the kids questions, not us, because this really has to be about the kids buying in, right? And I will tell you, we didn't even get out of that parking lot before our daughter said, "This is it. This is the school I want to go to."
Yeah. And I guess if you're talking about a moment, forget about our individual moments. When your kid turns to you and says, "This is where I want to go to school." Okay.
You make it
That's
happen.
it. Let's make it happen.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was neat. So at that point, then we had to find a house in Westlake.
Exactly.
Now think back after now several years. What's your favorite Westlake tradition?
Oh gosh, I'll go with a few first, but one thing that we were really impressed with is just like the first time we went to a homecoming football game. It's just such a cool experience, kind of like a little carnival atmosphere. And, everybody's, look, we're not going to take the world by storm with the Westlake football team, but everybody's into it, and they're competitive, and everybody is just having so much fun at those games. So for me, that's one of the things that I think was really, really powerful. And then the Halloween parade that the kids do in their costumes, it wasn't so much that the kids were going through in their costumes. It was that they had high schoolers, 12th graders, 11th graders dressing up with them, taking them by the hand, walking them through there. And to me, that said, like, this is a community where it's the elementary kids all the way up to the high school kids, and they're tied together by some common bond. And I thought that was really cool.
In line with that, this sounds like I'm making a plug for HOC, which is House of Commons. That's our PTA. But I think the House of Commons puts on a few really neat events. And in line with Halloween, it's the Monster Mash. We work collaboratively with the seniors who put on the haunted house. And it's just, again, that
brings everybody together.
Yes, it is. And it's all ages, from kindergartners up to the seniors. And everybody's having fun, and parents are there. So I will say that those kinds of school activities have been great. And then even, quite frankly, the non-school, like the tree lighting that they do here at the town, you have the entire community. You have all the kids from the school, not just Westlake residents. You have everybody here. You have kids putting on the shows or little dances that they've practiced at the school, One
of the driving visions of Westlake Academy was just to do that, to bring the community together.
Yeah.
You would have a neighbor going to Keller or another neighbor going to Carroll. And that was then. This is now, where you have neighbors going to school at the same place.
Right.
Yeah.
And that brings people together.
Yeah.
It does. And I think people here also kind of feel, they understand that the school is what makes Westlake special, right? So we're all invested in that mission. I think even people who don't have kids at the school, or, have never had kids at the school, they still see that the school is part of what makes Westlake special. Right. So that common purpose, I think, is great.
Well, it's interesting because, I'm one of my next questions is families in our area, they have a lot of choices.
Yes.
When it comes to education, from the behemoth ISD to private school. And Westlake Academy stands apart in so many ways. And one of them is 100% college acceptance rate. And one of them is an IB curriculum that often sends students into college with a semester, even a year of credit. I mean, these are small class sizes and a beautiful campus, like you mentioned, Joe, and an incredibly dedicated faculty. And so for some, it's a global focus. Some, it's an IB focus. For others, it's a close-knit community. But what is it for you? What makes Westlake such a special place that you chose it above all other options?
I think I would say, in no particular order, the IB learning experience. I think that's unique to me. I had never grown up with that, so it was new until we got to the school. And when we got the tour from Shelley, she explained what that meant, and walking into the gym and seeing all the traits, listed on the walls. So that was a huge one for me. And then, like you had mentioned, the size of the class, the size of the school. Now, remember, we came from a tiny school in Los Angeles. And so for our kids to then jump into something like a Carroll school, a Southlake school, I feared would be a little overwhelming for them. And so this was a perfect stepping stone. And instead of a stepping stone, it has just become their life.
It's the path.
And so it is big enough and yet small enough that they can still stand out and be seen.
It's such a perfect size, 60-ish kids per class. There's enough kids to, find your group of friends, find who you fit with, but not to get lost in the huge sea of students that, I think you'd have at some other places. I think for me, the thing that I realized as I learned more about Westlake is just that not only were the kids going to be learning, but they were going to be taught to be thinkers. That's a big part of the education. And to me, that's the most important aspect. Do you know how to think? Who cares what you can memorize and, whether you know every fact or detail, but do you know how to analyze a problem, think it through? And I think the school is really committed to that. And I can see it in the way that the kids have progressed.
A lot of schools suggest that, promise that.
Yeah.
You feel like Westlake's delivering.
I do. Yeah, absolutely.
And we say that because we see it.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it in our kids.
There you go.
And we see the little humans they're becoming.
Yeah.
And the questions they ask at home and the way they organize themselves and the way they push themselves. So it's not just what we hope. I mean, we have visual confirmation.
Yeah. Always helpful to have the evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, last year, about 70% of Westlake families participated in the blacksmith campaign. It sounds like year 5 for you to be a part of the blacksmith campaign.
Yeah. Crazy.
This year, we'd love to see the number grow from 70%. And I think it's about the whole community. I'm speaking from multiple different places. I serve as the treasurer of the Westlake Academy Foundation. So over the years, we've seen the numbers change from 70, 80. I mean, I think a high mark was 89%.
Wow. Oh, that's good.
But at the same time, families like yours have made especially significant investments in Westlake Academy. And by the way, as the treasurer, thank you for your support and your continued support. Why do you believe all levels of giving are so important? And what inspires you to give significantly to Westlake Academy?
This is going to sound so cheesy, but ultimately, whether you give $20 or you give $100,000, giving your best, right? I mean, I think that's kind of the big motto, right? Give your best, do your best. It all goes towards the kids. And I think this is where, and I've talked to a lot of families, this is what they don't see, and I wish they would see, even if the money is going towards equipment or towards a new field or towards, whatever imagination the staff and the teachers have to, use the money that's being donated. the kids are the ones ultimately who benefit. So, I mean, again, at the risk of sounding very cheesy, I look at my children's faces and we're doing it for them. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for their classmates, because when you see a teacher with the equipment that they need to teach their subject and they're passionate about it and they're excited about it, that bleeds into the kids. And that's great. This is why we do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that sort of morale aspect. You know, the teachers are working so hard, giving so much. You just want to make sure that they feel supported, that they have everything that they need for that mission. And then it kind of goes back to something I said before, you know, which is, I do feel like everybody in the town, and everybody who goes to the school understands how special the school is and how important it is. But yeah, we'd like to get that to a perfect place, right? We've got 70% of people seeing that and recognizing that. And it'd be great to get that sense of purpose up to 100%, where everybody just says, yeah, this is our school. We need to support it in any way that we can. And hopefully we can get there.
All in.
Yeah.
All in. Exactly.
Yep. So, and I think.
You think that's a possibility? I mean, what would prevent someone to put that face on it and put their kids or their friends, their kids' friends' face on giving?
I have a couple of thoughts. I think first thought is, I think a lot of people have this misnomer that we are a public school, and really we don't get the same funding. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. So I think a lot of people misunderstand that charter does not get the same amount of funds from the state. So a lot of families, I can tell, get very frustrated when, you know, HOC or foundation or booster is asking for donations, because in their minds, we're public. I shouldn't be giving money. And I wish that could be cleared up. I wish parents would understand that piece of it. I think the other piece is parents get discouraged when they see, you know, families donating large amounts, or they see that the average amount, you know, it'd be great if you could donate $3,000. What we all need to understand is not every family can contribute that. And so I think if I could have any message to the families, whatever you have, pocket change, it just contribute anything you can possibly contribute. I think that's potentially, those are my two thoughts as to why families maybe feel a little discouraged about contributing.
Yeah. But to your point, I mean, you know, if you can get from 70% to 100%, whatever that average gift is per family, you sort of kicked it into overdrive, that extra 30%. So, if we can just sort of help people to understand that, we're in kind of an in-between situation being a charter school. You know, we do need extra funding for certain things, and, whatever people can give is helpful, and just moving the needle from 70 to 100, I think would make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. When you think about the investments families make in Westlake Academy, how do you see those dollars show up in the classroom of your students and the classroom students' experience? Think about that for a second. And looking ahead, what impact are you personally hoping to achieve with your own gifts?
I think for me, it goes back to that you want the school and the teaching staff and everybody to have that high morale where they know the parents are behind them, and they know that we want you focused on the mission of educating the kids, and we don't want you to lack anything that's needed.
Joe, I hear Joe saying he wants to remove all obstacles so that the teacher can get the true teacher can come out.
Yeah. We have an amazing set of teachers who are very clearly passionate about what they do and the population that they work with. And you asked us earlier, you know, did we have a favorite? And we couldn't answer because
was in sound check.
Yeah, that was in sound check.
Yeah.
But I think my response to you is these teachers treat our children like their own. I mean, they're very protective. They're very nurturing, but they're also very tough and disciplined. It is clear they're passionate. They're not just showing up for a paycheck. They can go anywhere for that. They have chosen a school that is a beautiful campus. They have a great community of teachers to work with. So when we give, I I do it because, I mean, if the teacher's happy and the teachers are motivated and the teachers are not lacking or wanting for anything, then there are no obstacles.
Yeah.
You know,
if the teachers believe in the mission and the parents believe in the mission, then, you know, it's all going to go in the right direction. But I think the teachers need that. You know, I'm working hard in there every day for your kids. And, you know, I want to know that the parents are behind me. And that's not just financial. It's volunteering. It's participating. It's seeing what you can do to help the community. But I think it helps their mindset so much to know everybody's behind them.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned the IB curriculum, the teaching staff, your kids, and one of the reputations that all that brings together is the rigor of the education. In the education world, rigor can mean a lot of different things. What does it mean here to you guys?
I mean, my kids have taken off academically like you wouldn't believe in the time that they've been here. I mean, you know, they've always been good students. They did well where they were in California, but I think they just got that extra little turbocharge.
They're challenged.
They're challenged.
They're working hard.
And to what I said before, they're learning to think, right? And then you realize that unlocks everything. You actually don't have to spend as much time memorizing every fact in detail if you know how to think, because you can organize this stuff in your head in a way that makes it easy to recall things. So, you know, we kind of saw it kick in with my daughter. And then my son is really kicking in now where they're just becoming wonderful students and wonderful, curious people. And so, you know, I've loved to watch that happen.
Blacksmith Giving Day is coming up. Arguably one of the most important days of the Westlake Academy Foundation. Almost 95% of all the giving for a blacksmith occurs on this day. What would your message be? You're coming from a place of have consistently given. You're an example for us all. What would your message be to other families?
Give.
Yeah.
Do your best. Again, whether it's, again, I've said this before, $20 out of your pocket to as much as you can possibly give. Let's get to this 100%. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And what kind of a message would that send to our teachers and to the students? I think that would be fabulous.
Yeah, I agree. It's one word, just give. And don't overthink it. Don't, you know, worry about, is this the right amount or, you know, is this enough? Just get in there and do what seems right to you. And then we get ourselves towards that 100% goal. And again, like we said, everybody who's giving, it just sort of accelerates that whole process. If the average gift is X and we go from 70% to 100%, we're in much better shape.
The school is run on the support of the families. I mean, it really is. So you mentioned it before. We are a charter school. We call it at the foundation the funding gap. How much? Quantify for me, Sean. What's the difference between what I need to give to get to the level of a normal public school? $3,700 is that number per student. Right. So we've tried to quantify that and propagate that message to the families that this is the need to, and that plays out in a lot of different ways. It plays out in the classrooms. It plays out in teachers' salaries. It plays out in just the basic blocking and tackling, and it plays out in all the extra stuff that you see.
Yeah.
So I think about the give anything because I want those families that may not be able to make that 3,700 number. There's others maybe that can pick up the slack for those.
That's
right. But your message would knowing that number 3,700, would it change your thought process?
No, I think that everybody, and like Joe said, don't think too hard on what you can give. Just give what you can. And in the end, it's still better than not giving at all. Honestly. I mean, I know that sounds so cliche, but
no, it's good because I sit on the other side in receiving and watching the money flow into the school. The school asks, we fund.
Right.
And that's the message we've given the school.
Yeah.
So whatever they need, we try and fund.
Right.
Yeah.
And for the last 15 years, we've done an incredible job to make sure that that trust is upheld. Of they ask, we fund.
Right.
We're taking care of Joe and Camille's gifts and delivering it to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we see it. And we see it. And that's why I want to just encourage every parent. That money is being used so well. And again, even if we as parents don't see every beaker that's being purchased or every building that's being designed or every turf that's being laid, it is happening because the parents are contributing.
Yeah. You've joined a great community.
Yeah.
There's
We
a
got lucky.
great group of parents that
Oh, yeah.
come together and help fund this place.
Oh, yeah.
It's really remarkable. Well, thank you both for sharing your story and for all you do for Westlake. Really.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Camille.
Thanks for having us.
Your example is part of the power of what the families here at Westlake Academy can do. And to our listeners, Blacksmith Giving Day is September 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the goal is $1.75 million. That's our biggest goal to date.
Okay.
So we can do this.
Yep.
That's roughly, like I said, $3,700 per student, and every gift matters is what
Yes.
Camille's message is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% agree with
I agree.
that. So thank you for
Yep.
that. Any final thoughts you want to share?
No, thanks for having us. And hopefully the message gets out there.
Yeah. We like talking about this school. We're really happy with our choice, and it's a pleasure to talk through that journey that we've been on, and hopefully encourage other people to jump in and participate on. What did you say? It was September 18th? Is that the day?
That's exactly
okay.
right. Some would say the folks from California were a little maybe standoffish, but I'm glad you guys came. I am glad you guys came to Texas.
Well, I mean, I will not lie.
Making a
I
difference.
did not think this would be the place I would end up, but
Yeah.
I am happy I'm here, and we've made so many amazing friends,
Yeah.
and a new family.
Maybe
Yeah.
we're Texans at heart.
I think we're Texans now.
Yeah.
Grateful y'all came. In your own words, what does the Westlake Advantage mean to you?
I think it's more of a privilege. I know that the kids that get to attend this school are very privileged to be able to attend it. And it means, in my mind, they get to experience a wonderful education with great teachers who are passionate, other students who
You see
are
that raise a higher level of responsibility with the student?
yes.
They
and
recognize that.
They recognize it. And also it's a huge responsibility for the school and the town to uphold that expectation as well. But the students, I think, at least our kids, they understand that they are very fortunate to be attending this school and, what it has to offer and the teaching styles and also the size of the school and all the things that go with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thought. As you dream for Westlake Academy, if you could have a magic wand and add one more thing to Westlake Academy tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow, give us a little time to put it together. What would it be?
It's a hard question, but one thing that I think would be interesting is sort of a kind of a theater type space or something like that, right? So that when we're doing school productions, there's a place for that. And you can use a facility like that for all kinds of other things. You can do, graduation ceremonies, things like that, award ceremonies. And, we've already made such great progress on the fields and, the new soccer fields and things like that. So that's one thing that comes to mind for me that might be kind of that would sort of flesh things out. Not cheap, but that's what Giving Day is for.
Did you come from a theater background?
No, I don't. But, my daughter was doing theater and, I know a lot of the other kids are into it. And I just think it's kind of one of those things that would round out the facilities for the school.
For sure.
I think mine's a little less of a physical wish. It's more of a, I guess I wish there were opportunities for the kids. And again, not comparing to other schools, because I realize funding looks very different, but programs that maybe allow the children to explore more of a career opportunities and things like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's science-based or, arts-based, things like that. I think that would kind of be a neat opportunity for the kids. And maybe it's a specialty program and they're on campus, for 6 months out of the year. It's a part-time sort of thing, but just to give the kids a chance if they were interested. And I know that this year, actually, they did start this new FIT program, which is great because that allows the kids to kind of select various areas that they're interested in. I think there was like a criminal, some sort of a CSI aspect, and I know that there's engineering, and so I think that is a great start. I love that.
Moving in the right
I love
direction.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for your time. Camille, thanks for sharing your thoughts and your vision.
Thanks.
And Joe, thank you. Thank you both for your contribution to Westlake Academy.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.